Good morning, students. Welcome to the subject of environmental science. We are dealing with unit number 4, that is all about disaster management. A part is all about disaster management, right? And this is part 3. In the past two lectures or sessions, we have studied about the various natural calamities like cyclone, earthquake, floods, storms, etc. In today's session, we'll be checking out with the natural calamity like landslide and tsunami. Right? When it comes to the meaning of the mitigation, then we can say that mitigation is such a kind of measures which are taken to minimize the negative impact of the natural disaster. It involves the sustainable efforts to reduce danger of human life and recover the property. The mitigation is or disaster mitigation is considered to be a proactive approach which helps to provide repetitive benefits for a long period of time. This is what is all about disaster mitigation or disaster management. Who does disaster management takes care of these measures to see that the negative impact of natural disasters are minimized, right? In today's session, we'll be checking out with two important types of natural calamity. One is landslide and the other one is what we call it as tsunami, right? So what is landslide? If we try to understand landslide, then landslide is such a kind of calamity or event in which there is a collapse of mass of earth or rock from a mountain or a cliff. That means you must have heard many times that there was a landslide in so and so region. Landslide means where there is hilly region, mountainous region, there the mass of earth, that means a part of the mountain slips over to the lower portion of the place, and this is how it rolls down and the land slips or land slides, right? This is what is known as the landslide. Even a landslide is known as landslip, as I told you. It is such a kind of a mass wasting that includes a wide range of ground movements such as rock falls, deep failure of slopes and shallow debris flows. That means if there may be the huge rocks falling from the top, there may be the debris flowing from the top, right? Landslide occurs underwater is called a submarine landslide. Even in the ocean, that at times when there is uneven kind of rocks in under ocean, then even at that time there may be underwater landslide which is known as submarine landslide, right? It means in the coastal, and it happens somewhere in the coastal or onshore environments, right? This is what about the submarine landslide. But in a normal form, what is landslide? Then landslide is movement of rocks, debris or earth down the slope, right? They come rolling down the slope and they result from the failure of the materials which make the hill slope. When the hill slope or hill is intact, then it is a hill, but when it starts falling in the form of slope or it rolls down, it becomes the landslide, or the event is known as landslide, right? So it can be said that a landslide can be defined as the movement of mass of rock, debris or earth down a slope. Again, landslides are a type of mass wasting. That means whatever with which the hill is made, right, that comes up in the form of the rolling debris or maybe the mass wasting, which denotes any downslope movement of maybe soil or rocks under the direct influence of gravity. That means it comes from the top to bottom, right? The term landslide takes into consideration 5 modes of slope movement. It may be falls, it may be toppling down, it may be slides, it may be spreading, or it may be even flowing. Any kind of activity in the mountainous region can be considered as landslide. These are further subdivided into different types, but that's okay, we are not concerned about that. We must know what is the meaning of landslide at this stage. Almost every landslide has multiple causes. Slope movement occurs when forces acting downslope, that is mainly due to gravity, exceeds the strength of the earth material that composes the slope. Causes include factors that increases the effect of downslope forces and factors that contribute a low or reduced strength. Landslides can be initiated in the slopes already on the verge of movement by rainfall, snow melt, changes in the water levels, stream erosion, changes in the groundwater, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, disturbance by human activities. All these may cause the landslide in the mountainous region, right? So landslide is nothing but falling down or the sloping fall of soil or rocks from the mountains, that is said to be mass wasting, right? Earthquake shaking and other factors are also one of the reason of landslides underwater. These landslides are called submarine landslides, as I told you earlier also. So in short, what is landslides? If we try to understand, then we can say that, see, something like this when happens, the roads are built on, as you can see in the picture, the roads are built within the mountains, right? And if there is a landslide in the mountain, then such constructions get fallen off to the slope, or down, they roll on to the downward direction, right? And this type may cause a huge danger to the roads being constructed, or maybe the people living, or the community living in that, in the say slopy region, or maybe at the ground region, whosoever are living, it may cause problems to them. Generally landslides are seen in the mountainous region and even in the underwater region, or maybe which we call it the submarine landslide. We can see such kind of, or this kind of landslide is experienced. It creates the mass movement which occurs through geological process like rock falls, or maybe shallow debris. Debris means kind of wastage, or જેને આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં મલબો કહેતા હોઈએ, એવું સ્લોપ ડાઉન થાય, તો that is said to be the landslide, right? Now the primary reason for landslide is gravity acting. That means the gravitational force acting on and over steepened slopes, right? In the modern era, heavy constructions of building also creates such problems, because a lot of construction is taken up in the mountainous region, but due to the natural reasons, if there is landslide, then it causes great damage to such kind of constructions, and construction is one of the reason, and construction gets affected, that's the effect also. The problems may also arise due to climate, weather conditions, or even earthquakes. So such kind of landslides can be experienced because of the climate, weather conditions, or because of the earthquakes also, right? So as you can see in the picture, it is all about the landslide, right? So to reduce the impact of landslide or such disaster, whatever the number of people who are living in such areas should be restricted. That means minimum people should live it, so that live in such kind of area which are prone to such kind of landslides. ઓછામાં ઓછી વસ્તી ત્યાં હોય તો ઓછામાં ઓછું નુકસાન એ લોકોની લાઈફને અને પ્રોપર્ટીને થાય છે. Moreover, construction activities should be controlled in these areas, because once you know that this area is prone to landslide, we can avoid constructing the different types of building or constructions in such kind of region, right? Even at the saturation stage, or rock and soil, it gets weakened due to melted snow or maybe heavy rainfalls. The mountain stuff gets weakened up, and due to earthquakes also, or due to even the eruptions of the volcanoes, it produces heavy ash, and maybe during the rain, such kind of things may come up in the form of landslides. Landslides are very common in rainy season, and it occurs as it is because of any of the reasons as mentioned, right? So the slopes may also weaken due to increasing traffic. Even we have seen at times that when we are traveling through the mountainous region, there may be so much of traffic at times. Maybe there are vibrations created of the machines which are used for various purpose of constructing. Maybe blasting may be done, dynamite blasting may be done for mining work, right? It may be groundwater pressure that may cause such kind of landslides. Even the heavy rains may turn up into landslides. Weight of heavy structures or buildings, we have discussed it earlier also, may cause such kind of landslides. So there cannot be any one particular reason for landslide. So many factors may be working, and there may be various reasons for such kind of landslides. But anyhow, landslide causes great danger to the people, community, and the construction that is being done in such prone regions, right? Generally, as I told you earlier also, landslides come up in the mountainous region, or it may be seen underwater, right? So this is how the landslide goes. As far as the mitigation measures are concerned, bamboo check dams can be built, terracing can be done, netting can be done, so that the rocks when fall or maybe debris when fall can be caught in such kind of net, and it does not affect the roads or maybe the people living under the slope or maybe on the ground region. Right, so that can be avoided. Even rock fall control, like grass plantations can be done, more vegetations can be grown on the slopes, so that it catches the land, it catches the soil, and it helps to reduce the impact of landslide. And even the forestations can be taken up, as I told you, so that it will hold the land, it will hold the soil, and it will not allow lot much landslides or severe landslides. So these are the mitigation measures that can be taken up by the say disaster management, or whosoever is taking care of such kind of calamities, right. As I told you earlier also, that these natural calamities are such which cannot be avoided completely, એને તમે અટકાવી નથી શકતા, રોકી નથી શકતા completely, પણ એને ક્યાંક એની impact છે, એની અસર છે, એને આપણે ઓછી કરી શકીએ છીએ, right. Okay, in that case we are done with the landslides. We are moving towards the next and the last disaster, that is known as tsunami, right. The name is not new to us. Tsunami is an enormous sea wave that erupts and reaches the land. It is big huge waves. Say it starts, or it is erupted somewhere in the ocean region, and it reaches the land, and it affects the huge run of kilometers, right. A very high large wave in the ocean that is usually caused by an earthquake under the sea, and that can cause great destruction when it reaches the land. This is the definition given by Merriam-Webster website, right. So this is how the tsunami is said to be. It is a Japanese word, and it means su means harbor and nami means wave, right. So on harbor, whatever the wave comes up which are very huge in nature, they are considered as tsunamis. So tsunamis are giant waves caused by earthquakes or the volcanic eruptions under the sea. Out in the depth of the ocean, tsunami waves do not dramatically increase in height, but as the waves travel inland, when it comes towards the shore harbor, they build up to a higher and higher heights as the depth of the ocean increases, right. The speed of the tsunami waves depend on the ocean depth rather than the distance from the source of the wave. That is very important. Tsunami is dependent how deep the ocean is. Deeper the ocean, more would be the height of the tsunami waves, right. Tsunami waves may travel as fast as jet planes over the deep waters, only slowing down when reaching the shallow water. When it comes to shallow water, deep waters માં એ બહુ જ ઊંચા જાય છે, અને shallow water માં એ ધીમે ધીમે ઘટતા જાય છે. While tsunamis are often referred to as tidal waves, this name is discouraged by the oceanographers because tides have little to do with these giant waves. Tides, તમે જે આપણે મોજા કહીએ દરિયાના, that is not tsunami. Tsunamis are real giant waves, right. It may be say to the height of say several floors of a building. So it's a real giant wave that comes up as tsunami. It comes up or it erupts somewhere in the ocean. The deeper the ocean, the high would be the tsunami waves, right. So this is how tsunami takes place. When the sea floor abruptly deforms and vertical displacement happens, which overlying the water, then tsunami is generated. It may be caused even by the underwater earthquakes, volcano eruptions that I told you. Even the tectonic earthquakes are related with the earth's crust, and if any kind of deformation is created, it will turn up into the tsunami, right. The heavy flow of water displaced through formulation of waves under the gravity impact to regain the equilibrium position. That means a huge wave is created, which is known as tsunami, and it comes up with the heavy flow of water to the harbor area. That means it comes to the say the land, it reaches the land, and it may flow to the kilometers, right. So this is how the tsunami happens. So tsunami waves do not resemble normal undersea water. We must understand it. They are not tides. They are heavy and very huge kind of waves. right? Rather than they what happens is, because their wavelength is far longer, rather than appearing as a breaking wave, a tsunami may instead initially resemble a rapidly rising tide, and for this reason it is often referred to as a tidal wave, although this usage is not favored, right? The we When tsunami strikes our mind, then it consists of series of waves. It's not one or two waves, series of waves with period ranging from minutes to hours, right? So it is called a wave train also at times, because one by one the waves keep on coming, and wave heights of 10 meters can be generated by large events. And although the impact of tsunamis is limited to the coastal areas, their destructive power may be enormous, right? It may be very huge, and they can affect the entire ocean basins. That means the whole ocean gets disturbed with the tsunami. So it depends upon the intensity of tsunami. We remember the a tsunami that was caused somewhere in 2004, Indian Ocean, right, was among the deadliest natural disasters in human history. Almost as many as 230,000 people were killed and or missing in 14 countries, who are on the Indian Ocean or bordering the Indian Ocean. So this was the greatest and deadliest tsunami that was caused in 2004. All right, as you can see it in the picture here also, that see the waves, they are so huge, coming to the land and carrying all that comes up in its way. It may be the vehicles, or maybe the buildings, and everything gets affected with the help of with the creation of tsunami, right? So tsunami, as we know, it the causes may be earthquakes, or maybe any kind of landslides. The other causes may be non-earthquake landslides by water, volcanic eruptions that is taking place, collapsing of sea cliffs, maybe explosion on volcanic islands, any kind of such kind of say disruptions may create tsunami. The earthquake which cause large tsunami is known as subduction earthquake. It occurs at plate boundaries and creates very powerful impact, where one tectonic plate is grinding inexorably beneath under another. That means one plate, when tectonic plate is gliding over the other, this type of earthquakes takes place, and it is known as subduction earthquake also, which creates a huge or large tsunamis, right? When bottom plate suddenly lurches deeper, a colossal amount of energy is released. Too much of energy is released when this overlapping is happening, right? So that may give rise to massive tsunami wave that can travel to long distance across the sea. So this is the reason even the landslides, rock falls, ice falls can also produce tsunami. It can be generated by earthquake induced landslides also, and this can occur after heavy earthquake around 6.5 Richter scale or above. When there is a earthquake which can be noted like 6 or 6.5 Richter scale, there are all chances that tsunami may occur, right? So this is how it goes. A powerful tsunami at 900 kilometer say kph in deep water, producing only a ripple at the surface, not even noticed by the ship in the open sea, right? It slows down to 300 kph at the continental shelf, then suddenly rises to 20 meters when it hits the shore at 35 kph. So when a wave slows, it does not lose energy, it simply rearranges it. So that's the basic thing about the tsunami. The speed of tsunami wave is like a jet plane, as I told you, right? It is almost 750 kilometers per hour, and in a day it can cross entire Pacific Ocean. Try to imagine, that means how fast it would be and how huge it would be, that it covers throughout the day. If that works, it covers all of the Pacific Ocean, right? These waves create heavy disasters when they reach seashore. Within the sea, fine enough, but when it reaches the banks, that means seashore, કાંઠે આવે છે ત્યારે they are very dangerous. The range of the speed is between 500 to 1000 kilometer per hour. We cannot even imagine, right? With this speed, when it reaches the seashore, it compresses sometimes up to 35 meters with heavy weight of water, which can crush any object that comes into its path. That means whatever then comes up to the path to its path, everything can be destructed, everything can be crushed. And that is why tsunami is very, very dangerous. As I told you, 2004 tsunami is considered to be the deadliest one, right? Let us see what can be done when the tsunami is caused. What are the mitigation measures that can be taken up, right? So when it comes to mitigation, an early warning alarm system can be there. With the help of weather reports, we can make the early warning to the, or we can give the early warning to the people who are living on the coastal areas to shift themselves, so that at least we can save the lives, right? Next comes up is, in case of warning, we can evacuate the houses with the families and maybe the say valuables, so that at least that much can be saved. If somebody feels that the earth shakes near the beach area, should not wait for the warning, immediately move to the higher ground area. Naturally, while we are on the shore, and if we feel the shaking of the earth, then that means that's an indication that something is going to go wrong, and that at that time we should not wait for the warning. Instead, we should save lives by moving ourselves to the higher areas, or maybe the ground areas. If some people are in a ship, in case of warning, then they do not return, to the port, because tsunami rapidly changes in the water level and becomes more dangerous at the port. This is what is special about tsunami, that when it comes to port or harbor area, it is more dangerous, right? So if traveling by the ship, then ship should not come to the harbor. Instead, it should go beyond that, or away from that, so that the ship can be saved and the life can be saved as well. Here the biggest tsunami is being talked about. The picture also suggests the same, that is of 2004, 26 December 2004, right? The tsunami took place at the coastal side of Indonesia in Indian Ocean, right? And there were several earthquakes because of that, and that to the Richter scale of 6.3 to 7. The within 1000-kilometer periphery to Andaman Nicobar Island, it got converted into a powerful tsunami. This happened during 2004. This tsunami wave quickly traveled and built a water wall up to 10 meters high when it crashed the land. When it came to the land, it was like almost water wall, right? 10 meters high. In the absence of an early warning system, many people were not aware and could not even move to the higher grounds. At many places, what happened was a sea receded up to hundreds of meters, and curious people enjoyed at the beach as they did not know about the danger, and as a result, they had to lose their lives. So tsunami can cause serious damage to the human life and also the infrastructure, maybe the buildings, maybe the construction. So many things can be lost in the tsunami. The death figure was 185,000, and missing people were reported to 40. That means it came up to more than 2 lakhs 25,000 or 30,000 people who lost their lives, right? The tsunami left hundreds of thousands of people losing their homes. Family members were lost. They were all scattered, and their livelihoods were also missing. Infrastructural facilities like say electricity supply, hospitals, bridges, roads, schools, huge buildings and water supply lines suffered heavy destruction during this tsunami. Debris and waste were scattered widely, and salt in undated underground water supplies also. So this is what happened when tsunami of 2004 took place, right? So at the epicenter of Sumatra in Indonesia, total death figure was around 1,25,000. Just imagine, people lost their lives like anything, and almost 35,000 people were missing. Since it was working day and men were out working, majority people killed included mostly women and children who live near the coastal areas. So approximately 650 villages were affected, and almost 5 lakhs people were homeless. Such was the disaster, such was the magnitude and the danger of this particular natural disaster of tsunami. So here we end up with tsunami. In many movies also you must have seen it in a visualized form, right? So it's a very dangerous natural calamity that occurs and there can be no mitigation as such, because you can warn and we can keep ourselves ready for it, and we can move ourselves away from the area or coastal area, but beyond that not much can be done to avoid tsunami. So here we end up with the session also, and we end up with the natural calamities also. So when we meet next, we will be starting with the B part of unit 4, that would be the last part of your syllabus, right? So just take care of yourselves, and when we meet next, it will be the fresh B part that will be starting. Till we meet next, it's a goodbye from my side. Thank you. Take care of yourselves.